Lu Qing was an orphan, my nominal younger sister, but in reality, she was more like my child bride. After my mother passed away, my father, afraid she might run away when she grew up, actually drugged her and locked her in my room. This ended up preventing Lu Qing from being with the love of her life. Later, when she gained power, she locked my father in a pitch-black basement like he was some Alaskan prisoner. She also imprisoned me, threatening me with my father's life, making my existence a living hell. The icy floor sent chills down my spine, and suddenly my hair was yanked back, the sharp pain forcing me to lift my head. Lu Qing crouched down, looking down at me. Happy now? Yi Fan will never be apart in this lifetime. Glancing at the untouched food tray on the floor, Lu Qing's expression darkened. For every meal you skip, I'll torture your father one more day. Let's see who lasts longer, you without food, or him without mercy. Enough, Qingmei. I opened my eyes, gazing at her breathtakingly beautiful face, now twisted in fury at my use of Qingmei. You dare call me Qingmei? You've coveted me since childhood, yet you have the nerve to call me little sister? She slammed my head back onto the floor, her voice growing shriller. I barely managed to glance at her. 5 years. Isn't that enough? Do you have any idea how my father and I have suffered these 5 years? Looking back 5 years, after my father drugged her that night, the once cheerful Lu Qing became a completely different person. She turned cold and distant, yet later, she agreed to marry me. She treated both me and my father well, even serving as my secretary to help manage the company. It reminded me of an old saying, familiarity breeds affection. Until that Valentine's Day night, when several men in black stormed into our home and subdued both me and my father in an instant. Then began our endless imprisonment. Lu Qing took over the company as the sole heir. While she thrived in the outside world, she would come to the basement late at night to torment me and my father. For 5 whole years, I considered ending it all, but she threatened my father's life, forcing me to endure. Even when my father and I offered to leave with nothing, she refused to let us go. What she didn't know was that I had recently started coughing up blood. Not much, but enough to worry me. The pain in my upper abdomen was worsening, and given my family's history of pancreatic cancer, I could feel a lump forming. I suspected I had pancreatic cancer, and it was likely terminal. Today, it wasn't that I refused to eat. My stomach was too bloated, and I had no appetite. Slap! A sharp sting burned across my left cheek, followed by a searing pain. Lu Qing had struck me without hesitation, then forced a chicken wing into my mouth. Yi Fan, your family will never repay what you owe me. Weren't you afraid I'd run away? Don't worry, I'll never let you go in this lifetime. She forced some food down my throat, and my stomach churned violently. Yet, my face remained expressionless, like the calm before a volcanic eruption. Lu Qing ripped off my shirt. Done eating? Now it's time for me to fulfill my wifely duties. I wanted to resist, but I had no control over my own body. What I couldn't understand was, if Lu Qing hated me so much, why didn't she go back to the love of her life? Instead, for 5 years, she repeatedly forced intimacy on me, sometimes even drugging me. The pain in my abdomen came in waves, a twisted mix of agony and pleasure. But the turmoil in my stomach grew unbearable. Gag! I couldn't hold in any longer. Like vomiting after too much beer, I retched violently. But what came out wasn't food. It was bright red, staining the pristine white floor in a shocking crimson. Lu Qing froze, then panicked, cradling my head and wiping my mouth. Perhaps a blood vessel had ruptured, because a torrent of blood gushed from my lips like a broken faucet. Lu Qing screamed, Yi Fan, what's happening? My vision started blurring. I'd taken Grandpa for his pancreatic cancer treatment before, so I knew that once the digestive tract hemorrhage began, there was no saving him. The weight in my heart finally lifted. Lu Qing, this life of mine is over. It didn't seem long after consciousness faded. My head hurt badly, and my body felt pinned down by something. I struggled to open my eyes. The scene before me was both familiar and strange. Didn't I die? Where is this? It looked like my old bedroom, but wasn't that building demolished? Or perhaps Lu Qing was nostalgic and built an identical one? I moved my limbs, The heavy iron chains from before were gone. I was free. Brother Fan, I'm so hot, what's happening? A familiar voice sounded, instantly making the hairs all over my body stand on end. Wasn't that Lu Qing's voice? But it didn't sound quite right. I abruptly sat up, only then realizing Lu Qing was leaning over the head of the bed. Her large, dazed eyes were completely unfocused. Lu Qing looked much younger, and then she started getting handsy with me. I looked around until I spotted the desk calendar, coupled with the long-absent lack of stomach pain in my clear, healthy arms. Only then did I realize I had been reborn. Reborn to the very moment my dad drugged Lu Qing. Deep breath. I forced myself to accept reality. At the same time, a stuffy, hot sensation spread throughout my body. Right? I had been drugged too. Brother Fan, help me. Lu Qing came at me again. 5 years of inhumane torture had given me extraordinary willpower. I pushed Lu Qing away, grabbed a glass jar filled with mini paper cranes from the desk, and smashed it over Lu Qing's head. One, it wasn't enough, so I hit her again. Soon, Lu Qing lost consciousness. At the same time, the glass jar shattered, scattering a pile of mini paper cranes on the floor. No idea who folded them. They must have had incredible patience. No time to worry about that. I quickly ran to the bathroom, submerged my face in water, while the shower head above continuously poured cold water down, gradually extinguishing the spreading fire. Walking back to the bedroom, suddenly a buzzing sound started. I searched around and finally saw a vibrating phone on the floor. Bending down to pick it up, I suddenly felt dizzy. I shook my head, forcing myself to calm down, and saw a single character displayed on the phone. Jia. That must be Lu Qing's White Moonlight. Jia. Oh, Jia is here. You're looking for little Qing, right? Come with me. Dad's familiar voice came from outside the door. Someone was visiting, and it was Jia, the one Lu Qing and he mutually adored. The pitter-patter of footsteps approached. I held onto the edge of the bed and struggled to stand up. If Jia saw the scene in the room right now, I don't know what he would think. I must stop things from developing as they did before. Jia. Little Qing is in Yi Fan's room. HM? What's little Qing doing in Yi Fan's room so early in the morning? The voices were already at the door. I quickly pinched my thigh, instantly becoming much more alert. Me disheveled like this, plus Lu Qing unconscious beside me. Never mind that. First, I quickly hid under the covers, pulling them up so only my head was exposed. Thinking about the previous Jia and Lu Qing, they were both top students among top students. They took turns being first in the grade, typical children of other families. The two were like rivals, always bickering and arguing whenever they met. They argued from middle school through high school, right up until university graduation. On the surface, they seemed incompatible like fire and water, but over the years, from my observation, they had actually already secretly fallen for each other, just lacking an opportunity. Although everyone knew Lu Qing was taken in by my dad as a child bride for me. Before I was reborn, Lu Qing once revealed that she and Jia planned to ask my father together after university graduation. That Lu Qing would repay the Yi family's kindness for raising her in other ways, but not by marrying me. As it turned out, the day they were preparing to confess to my dad was supposed to be today. Unfortunately, last night my dad struck first. On this day before my rebirth, Dad brought Jia, pushed the door open, saw the scene on the bed, completely broke down, and ran away. Then he married my other beautiful neighbor, Morong Shui. The sound of the door opening came, and at the same time, a dull thud sounded beside me. Lu Qing, who had just lost consciousness, slowly opened her eyes. Her brows furrowed slightly. Then she sat up straight, touching the back of her head with a pained expression. Then her eyes gradually focused, settling on my face. Lu Qing, now awake, quickly leaned over, nervously touching my face and the corner of my mouth, saying with anger laced with trembling, "Don't you dare spit blood again. Why didn't you tell me you were sick? I'll find you the best doctors. You can't die without my permission, understand? If you dare to just let go like this, I'll torture your dad endlessly, make his life a living hell." Lu Qing's words shocked me on the spot. My body trembled involuntarily, and my eyes widened as I looked at her. "Lu Qing, you've been reborn too, haven't you? Just as I finished speaking, the door was pushed open. Xiaoqing, are you okay? As soon as Ji Jie entered, he saw Lu Qing sitting on the floor and quickly went over to help her up. Lu Qing paused, staring blankly at the man before her, and asked uncertainly, Jie. Ji Jie nodded, his eyes full of affection. I called you last night, but you didn't answer. You didn't answer this morning either. I was worried about you, so I came to check. Lu Qing blinked her large eyes, looking around just like I did when I first realized I was reborn. Dad came around from behind Ji Jie, glanced at the scene in the room, and seeing that Lu Qing and I were still fully clothed, couldn't help but raise his voice. Xiao Fan, why didn't you and Lu Qing? Dad! I quickly spoke up to stop Dad from continuing. Qing Mei just brought me cold medicine. I didn't hold it steady and spilled it. Could you help me make a new cup? I glanced at the bedside table and the floor. There were miniature paper cranes everywhere. As far as I recalled, Lu Qing probably didn't fold these for me. After all, she didn't have romantic feelings for me, just saw me as a brother. Looking up at the slightly immature-looking Ji Jie. Jie, you came looking for Xiaoqing, right? Ji Jie nodded a bit shyly, then looked at Lu Qing beside him. I nodded along and smiled. Then you two go out and have fun. I'm not feeling well, so I won't tag along and get in the way. The two left the room one after the other. Not long after, Lu Qing returned. She swept up all the broken glass shards and the miniature paper cranes in the room, not even sparing the ones in the corners, leaving not a single one for me. She glanced back at my dad and me with an unclear meaning, but said nothing, then closed the door and went out with Ji Jie. Dad sat on the edge of my bed and sighed deeply. Xiao Fan, you've always liked Xiaoqing very much, haven't you? Why last night? Memories of those 5 years, day and night, flashed through my mind. It truly wasn't something an ordinary person could endure. If it happened again, I would just end myself. Turning my head to look at my worried dad, I took a deep breath. Dad, you know too, Lu Qing doesn't like me. You can't force love. Dad stood up, frowning as he looked out the window. But Lu Qing holds shares in the group, and she has considerable business management talent. Once she marries Ji Jie, not only will our family shares be snatched away, but we'll also have cultivated a powerful rival. Of course, I understood this. The most crucial parts were those shares and Lu Qing's emerging business acumen. Looking at my dad's slightly stooped back, a sense of release washed over me. 10 years reveal the passing of spring and autumn. 100 years witness birth, aging, sickness, and death. 1,000 years lament the change of dynasties. 10,000 years observe the shifting stars. High mountains become deep valleys. Oceans turn into mulberry fields. Birth, aging, sickness, and death are unavoidable. The Yi family has had its moments of glory, so will inevitably have its moments of decline. If heaven intends for our Yi family to fall, we can't force it otherwise. Dad turned back, looking at me in surprise. Kid, you're suddenly so deep, you've thrown me for a loop. But you have a point. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Dad will definitely find you a wife better than her. Watching Dad walk out, full of renewed vigor, I thought to myself that I actually had no intention of finding a wife for the time being. The wall clock struck 11. It was already 11 p.m., and Lu Qing still hadn't returned home. However, around 7 in the evening, I saw Ji Jie's updated social media post. The accompanying picture was of the two of them, Ji Jie with his arm around Lu Qing. Captioned underneath, "To hold your hand and grow old together." I quickly liked it and commented, "Wishing my sister and brother-in-law a swift union and a blissful life together." Dingling my phone rang. After answering, a soft yet firm voice came through the receiver. "I'm at your door. Come out." I grunted an affirmative, put on my sneakers, and prepared to leave. "Xiao Fan, is that the Moron girl for next door?" Dad asked, rubbing his hands together, a sly grin on his face. I nodded and pushed the door open. Strange as it sounds, in my past life, I didn't seem to have much contact with Moron Shui. It was only before high school that the four of us, her, Lu Qing, Ji Jie, and I, often commuted to school together. Her family were lawyers, and she had what looked like an ancient family ring. In my past life, after Ji Jie discovered I'd slept with Lu Qing, his heart died completely. Subsequently, the Ji family formed a marriage alliance with the Moron family. Just like that, Morong Shui married Jijia. Because of this, Lu Qing became deeply hostile towards Morong Shui, and the two attacked each other relentlessly. I easily pushed the front door open, and immediately a figure stumbled into my arms. Looking closely, it was actually Lu Qing. She sized me up. "What time is it? Where are you off to?" I felt like a husband caught red-handed, utterly guilty. "Wait, I'm not with Lu Qing right now. She can't do anything to me. Just going out for a stroll." With that said, I ignored Lu Qing and walked straight out. Lu Qing entered, placed the late-night snack she was carrying on the table. "Dad, I brought some late-night snacks for you and Brother Fan." Dad accepted the snacks somewhat awkwardly. "Xiao Qing, Dad was muddled last night. I just really hope you and Xiao Fan could get together." "Don't say it, Dad. I understand. Regardless of who I end up with, I'll never forget your and Brother Fan's kindness. We are forever family." Dad nodded, opened the takeout container, and began to slowly savor the food. Lu Qing packed up the remaining portion and asked, seemingly casually, "Where is Brother going so late? Our complex is near the outskirts. Isn't it a bit unsafe?" Dad chuckled while eating his snack. "Don't worry, it's fine. It's just Xiao Shui from next door who wanted to see him. I think they make a good pair. Don't you agree, Xiao Qing?" With a snap, the disposable chopsticks in Lu Qing's hand broke in two. Beneath the milky white glow of the streetlight, a slender figure dressed in a preppy-style coat paced back and forth, looking bored. Hearing my approaching footsteps, the hem of her coat fluttered, revealing a refined face reminiscent of Li Muan from Renegade Immortal. "Come on, let's grab a couple of drinks." When silent, Morong Shui was an ice queen, but the moment she spoke, her cool demeanor vanished. I took a deep breath. Memories of Morong Shui slowly surfaced in my mind, merging with the exceptionally beautiful face before me. I almost chuckled. That won't be necessary. It's not that serious. Strange, really. Even after being tormented by Lu Qing for so many years, a part of me still held onto unrealistic hopes. Morong Shui obviously didn't believe me. An eyebrow arched slightly. Really not hurting? It's no wonder she was skeptical. It's common knowledge I've been in love with Lu Qing for years. To suddenly claim I'm letting go, I bet even the handsome guys reading this on their phones wouldn't buy it. Looking at Morong Shui, whose eyes shone like a galaxy of stars, something seemed to be budding within me. I paused. "Xiao Shui, whether you believe it or not, I believe it. I've truly let go of Lu Qing. I also hope she and Jijia can find their happy ending." Morong Shui pressed her lips together slightly, her hands twisting nervously. "Those paper cranes I gave you," she asked, her eyes reflecting the serious young man before her. "Did you open them?" My brain's CPU crashed for a second. I coughed lightly twice, a bit awkwardly. "Well, I handled them, and you could say I opened them, but not opened in the true sense of the word." Morong Shui seemed quite dissatisfied with my answer. She walked right up to me, rising onto the tips of her brown boots, bringing our faces no more than an estimated 5 centimeters apart. Seen from the side, one might even think they were kissing. This close, Morong Shui swallowed lightly. A faint, sweet scent drifted past my nose. "What do you mean by that? Did you give them to someone else to open?" "No, I didn't give them away. It's just, well..." Suddenly, I felt a force from behind, pulling me straight back. "Fangirl, how could you let her kiss you? What's going on between you two?" Just as I steadied myself, I heard Lu Qing's voice. I was bewildered. Morong Shui and I hadn't kissed. Morong Shui stood her ground, pushing back her windbreaker with both hands before crossing them, revealing her bombshell figure. A sneer played on her lips. "What's wrong, Xiao Qing? Can't stand the thought of me being your sister-in-law." Seeing Lu Qing just staring silently, Morong Shui grew bolder. "Xiao Qing, you just committed yourself to someone else. Surely you're not still trying to control your brother and forbid him from dating. You two aren't even blood-related, you know. Aren't you afraid your precious Jijia will get jealous?" Lu Qing's brows knitted tighter and tighter as she listened. Knowing her for years, I recognized the signs she was about to explode. I quickly grabbed her arm, pulling her away. "Sis, it's late. Let's head home." Then I turned back to Morong Shui and mouthed, "See you tomorrow." Morong Shui was truly a newborn calf unafraid of the tiger. But I was a seasoned victim speaking from bitter experience. In my past life, Lu Qing had tormented me half to death. Reborn now with her memories, she was clearly not someone to provoke. If this went on, it was entirely possible she'd make trouble for Morong Shui too. A cold snort and the sound of determined footsteps echoed behind us. Turning around, I saw Morong Shui walking away, her figure gradually receding. Can't bear to see her go. Want to chase after her, Lu Qing said icily. I shot her a glance. In this life, she hasn't stolen your Prince Charming. No need to hate her this much, right? Silence fell around us. It occurred to me then that, since being reborn, I hadn't actually had a proper talk with Lu Qing yet. Right now, she was powerless, the great wrongs not yet committed. I decided to talk to her frankly. In our past life, it was my fault. I accept the punishment you dealt me. Since we're both reborn now, let's just live our own lives. You pursue your love. I won't stand in your way anymore. How about that? Treating it all like a forgotten dream. I spoke frankly, but Lu Qing showed none of the expected joy or relief. Her eyes held a complex emotion. Her lips were pressed thin, and her hands clenched into fists, as if she were desperately holding something back. Seeing her like this, I wondered, wasn't the 5 years of torment in the past life enough? Did she want to keep torturing Dad and me? I looked her in the eye and said seriously, you don't need to have any regrets. I wish you and Jia happiness together. Let the past life go. Lu Qing's brow relaxed, her fingers slowly unclenching. Over the next few days, Jia came to visit our house daily, not to see me naturally. Whenever he arrived, I made myself scarce, wanting to create a comfortable atmosphere for him and Lu Qing. Today, I got up extra early, planning to go to the hospital for a physical examination. Towards the end of my previous life, I think I had pancreatic cancer. I've been feeling a dull, uncomfortable sensation in my stomach occasionally. It's better to get a checkup. It wasn't easy getting another chance. I can't die too soon. Just as I pushed open the bedroom door, a beaming Jia walked in. Brother Fan, Qing and I are going shopping today. Want to come along? Was there any other answer to that question? You two are going on a date and asking me to be the third wheel. I shook my head. No thanks. I have a specialist appointment at the hospital today. Hearing my answer, Jia seemed relieved, letting out a breath. Oh, I see. Brother Fan, let us go with you then. Were you feeling unwell? Just stepping out of the room, Lu Qing, dressed in a white dress, seemed to have heard what I just said. It's nothing. I'm just going for a checkup. I hadn't finished speaking. Jia looked troubled. Qing, the pedestrian street we're going to is in the opposite direction of the hospital. If we go late, we won't get a good spot for the New Year's Eve celebration. No, wait, the celebration isn't important. Brother Fan's health is the most important thing. Brother Fan, let us accompany you to the hospital. Jia was clearly reluctant. I was just about to refuse them again. Dad walked out from the living room. You two just go on your date. Your Brother Fan has a date too. Hearing this, Lu Qing frowned, looked at me, and asked, Brother Fan, you're going on a date? Feeling a bit guilty, I nodded. After all, Lu Qing was technically my wife in my past life. Jia beamed upon hearing this. Brother Fan, you have someone you like too. I avoided Lu Qing's gaze and nodded awkwardly. Like how I had someone I liked. It was just an excuse I made up this morning to fool Dad because I needed to go out. Ignoring Lu Qing's searching gaze, I quickly bypassed Jia and headed out the door. A striking red sports car was parked at the entrance. Morong Shui wasn't wearing her usual work attire. Dressed in a black tight-fitting sweater, a plaid miniskirt, and brown ankle boots, with a light jacket draped over her arm, she leaned casually against the car. I had to admit, Morong Shui knew how to showcase her physical assets. Even with the experiences of 2 lifetimes, seeing her dressed like this stirred something within me. Walking up to Morong Shui, she gestured towards the passenger seat with her chin. I opened the door and got into the passenger seat. Why are you here? Do you need something? Morong Shui tossed the jacket onto my lap and gracefully settled into the driver's seat, smoothing her skirt. Every movement was picture perfect. My mom told me to get up early and go out with you for a bit. Morong Shui said nonchalantly. So Dad was just playing along with my excuse this morning. I looked at Morong Shui, whose hands were on the steering wheel. Is your mom trying to set us up? Morong Shui nodded, started the car, and drove off. After your grandfather passed away, Your father's health hasn't been good either. The Yi Corporation looks prosperous on the surface, but there are hidden currents surging underneath. Your uncles and aunts are rubbing their hands together, ready to grab a piece of the pie. Your grandfather originally arranged for Lu Qing to marry you and even gave her shares, intending for her to be your right-hand woman. But now that Lu Qing is with Ji Jie, she's an outsider. That's why your dad has set his sights on me and the law firm family behind me. Murong Shue's analysis was spot on, and I could see she felt resigned about it too. I quickly stated my position. Don't worry, I have ways to make my dad change his mind. I think this arrangement is fine. Murong Shue's words completely derailed my train of thought. I froze for a few seconds before I could react. What did you just say? Until my checkup was over, Murong Shue didn't bring up the matter again. I mulled it over carefully, finally deducing that Murong Shue seemed, possibly, perhaps, liked me. It was evening when we returned. The car stopped at the courtyard gate. I pushed open the passenger door, ready to leave. Yi Fan, Murong Shue suddenly called my name. Then she got out of the car too, walked up to me, and said, "I'm serious." Even though I'd already guessed she liked me, I was still a bit stunned by this kind of direct pursuit. Murong Shue walked up to me, grabbed my collar, and forced me to bend down, putting on a fierce expression. "Give me an answer within 24 hours. 1 second late, and I'll sue you for harassing a decent woman." I ruffled her hair, turning her silky locks into a bird's nest. "You dare threaten me now, you little brat?" Murong Shue playfully stomped on my foot. "You'd better behave. Pissing off a lawyer means your days are numbered, quite literally." I raised my hands in mock surrender, as if willingly offering them for handcuffs. "Go ahead, Attorney Murong, arrest me." Suddenly, Murong Shue grabbed both my wrists, spread them wide, and lunged straight into my chest, pressing herself against me. She held me like that, as if listening to my heartbeat. What's going on? Since when did I become so irresistible? Thud! A dull sound caught my attention. I turned my head and saw Ji Jie and Lu Qing standing not far away at the intersection. The bag in Lu Qing's hand slipped, spilling a few small gift boxes on the ground, though my eyes were immediately drawn to the box of Durex among them. Ji Jie pulled Lu Qing closer, wearing a delighted grin. "Brother Fan, you've been hiding your skills. You and the gorgeous Murong are already sealing the deal? Gotta say, a perfect match, tiger and dragon. No, I mean a talented man and a beautiful woman." Lu Qing seemed reluctant as she pulled her hand free from Ji Jie's grip. Her eyes locked onto Murong Shue's arms wrapped around mine, and she said coldly, "What kind of indecent display is this in public? Let go." Ji Jie's smile faltered. Murong Shue, however, only held me tighter, a faint smirk curling her lips. I just can't get enough. Seeing Lu Qing's anger meter skyrocket, on the verge of exploding, I quickly and gently pushed Murong Shue away. Lu Qing stormed over with a dark expression, shoving Murong Shue aside. "How were the hospital results?" Remembering the checkup from earlier, my mood brightened. "Nothing serious. The doctor just told me to keep a regular schedule and diet and come back for follow-ups." Lu Qing gave a slight nod. Ji Jie walked over and draped an arm over Lu Qing's shoulders. "Qing, let's go. We shouldn't interrupt Brother Fan's date." Lu Qing glanced around, her gaze settling on Murong Shue. "It's late. My brother should go home." Murong Shue tilted her head slightly, her smile taunting. "Lu Qing, you're overstepping. You're about to go home with Ji Jie. Why bother with our little antics?" Murong Shue really was Lu Qing's natural nemesis from past life. Usually a poised beauty, she instantly turned into a feisty little dragon the moment Lu Qing appeared. I gently tugged at Murong Shue. "I'm heading home. You should go back too, Xiao Shue. See you later." Without waiting to see how things unfolded, I quickly walked off toward home. Once in my bedroom, I glanced out the window. Murong Shue was already gone. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Ji Jie and Lu Qing still standing not far away, seemingly in the middle of an argument. Whether Ji Jie was jealous or not wasn't my concern. I pulled out my phone and sent Murong Shue a message. "Get the task I assigned you this morning done as soon as possible. Thanks." Even though I'd been reborn, Lu Qing had followed me into this life. She was a ticking time bomb. Even now, while she was with Ji Jie, she still seemed to have some kind of fixation on me. Whether it was love or hate, it was twisted. I needed to distance myself from her as soon as possible. Hopefully, Gigi could rein her in with that box of raincoats. The next day at the office, I began sorting through company affairs. In this second life, I'd already taken over the group's operations before being imprisoned. It was only after everything stabilized and I let my guard down that Lu Qing found an opening. So now, handling the group's matters felt almost effortless. Impressive, Yi Fan. Seems like you become a business veteran overnight. At this rate, it won't take long for you to reorganize the Yi group. Murong Shui teased as she handed me a stack of documents. Your request has been handled. After a quick scan, I looked up and smiled at Murong Shui. You're incredibly efficient. Thanks so much. Then, Murong Shui drove me home. Before getting out of the car, are you sure you want to do this? Murong Shui leaned against my desk. I shifted my gaze away from her Balenciagas, of course. This is the best solution. Murong Shui stared at me for 2 seconds. Actually, there's no need to rush. After all, Jie and Lu Qing only just got together. I said nonchalantly, it's not about Jie. Even if it were someone else, I still need to keep my distance from Lu Qing. It's better for everyone this way. Thinking about Jie and Lu Qing arguing at the door yesterday, most likely because of me, I quickly added, Jie is probably quite anxious as well. Murong Shui frowned slightly. You should have less contact with him from now on. I looked at Murong Shui, a little confused. That's not right. Didn't she marry Jie in our past life? Seemingly sensing my confused gaze, Murong Shui snorted coldly. Everyone knows Lu Qing was supposed to be your future wife. He still shamelessly stuck his nose in. How is that different from any other third party? Seeing Murong Shui speak so righteously, I couldn't help but retort in a low voice, as if you haven't had your eye on me. Murong Shui lightly patted my shoulder. That's different, okay? Mine was a secret crush. His is blatant robbery. I only made a move after seeing you weren't with Lu Qing. Even my confession was subtle, just sending paper cranes, okay. Murong Shui said this very quietly. I didn't hear it clearly, and when I asked again, she wouldn't repeat it. Murong Shui's cheeks flushed slightly. Seeming to think of something, she turned to look at me. There are still 6 hours left of the 24 hours. I shook my head and smiled. Hurry back. You're not wearing much. Be careful not to catch a cold. After saying this, I opened the car door and started walking towards my house. Sensing a gaze fixed on me, I looked up to see Lu Qing standing on the upstairs balcony, staring down at me, her gaze somber. Going up the stairs to the balcony, I placed a folder on the table. Take a look. If there are no problems, sign it. Lu Qing seemed not to have heard me. Are you together with Murong Shui now? Not yet. That's not the point. Look at the documents first. Lu Qing pulled several contracts out of the folder. The more she read, the tighter her frown became. I was a bit confused. I'd already given her the best terms within my power. The shares Grandpa gave her remain hers, but she only has the right to dividends. Decision-making power rests with me. Additionally, if she wants to sell the shares, she can only sell them to me. And the last point, she must move out of the Yi residence. We are to have no further contact. Lu Qing's face was frosty. No further contact? Yi Fan, I can't let you off that easily. I almost wanted to laugh. Honestly, my family raised you from childhood through university graduation. Now you leave with someone else, and I haven't even taken back the shares. You call that letting me off easy? Besides, do you really want to imprison my father and me like you did in our past life? There are no feelings left between us. Separating is better for both of us. You go live a good life with Jie. Smack. Lu Qing slammed the documents onto the table, her face contorted with uncontrollable anger. I've never had a good life. Yi Fan, if you want me to sign, fine, but add one condition. You cannot be with Murong Shui. I sighed softly. What does this have to do with Murong Shui? Lu Qing, we can't go back. It's better to forget each other and move on than to cling together in bitterness. Suddenly, I felt something in my jacket pocket. Taking it out, I saw it was a tiny paper crane. Turning it over, it seemed there was writing inside. I slowly began to unfold the paper crane, but before I could read the contents, Lu Qing suddenly snatched it from my hand and tore it to shreds. I didn't stop Lu Qing's action because I had already guessed what Murong Shui would have written inside the paper crane she gave me. I also understood why, on the day I was reborn, Jijia, this Prince Charming right before her eyes, wanted to take Lu Qing out for a walk. Yet she insisted on helping me clean up the broken glass and the paper cranes in my room first. Turns out she knew the secret all along. Which means Lu Qing's hatred for Murong Shui wasn't just because Murong Shui married Jijia in our past life. Also, if Murong Shui hated Jijia so much, why did she agree to marry him in the last life? Could it be that in our past life, Murong Shui towards me from very early on? At this thought, a chill ran down my spine. Murong Shui going after Lu Qing like a madwoman. It was because of me. Every time Lu Qing met Murong Shui, she would come back and torment me first, and then do that thing with me. So it wasn't because of Jijia after all. Lu Qing clenched her pearly teeth. In our last life, Murong Shui came looking for me. She guessed you were imprisoned by me and was willing to trade her family's fortune for you. She said she had liked you for a long time. She asked me, since I was so unhappy with you, why didn't I divorce you? Reason told me I should divorce you, but at that moment, my thought was actually that I wanted to be with you until death. As she finished speaking, 2 lines of tears slid down Lu Qing's face. I thought I held on to you because I hated you. It wasn't until that moment you kept vomiting blood that I understood. As long as you were alive, nothing else mattered. After being reborn, I thought everything could start over too. But when I'm with Jijia, my mind is completely filled with you. I love you, Yifan. I pushed Lu Qing away and slapped her with a sharp smack. It was the first time I had hit her in 2 lifetimes. Lu Qing, in our last life, you were with me, but all you thought about was Jijia. This life, you're with Jijia. Yet you say you miss me? I am, and can only ever be, your step-brother. That evening, Lu Qing and Jijia had another fight. The specifics were unknown. But when Jijia came to find me at the company the next day, his expression was unusually grim. After asking the secretary to make him a cup of coffee, I asked with a smile, "What brings my dear brother-in-law here?" Jijia looked at me, pretending to be casual. "Brother Fan, I heard you and Uncle Yi are moving." I nodded. "That's right. If I can't afford to provoke her, can I at least hide? If Lu Qing won't leave, I will." Jijia leaned forward. "Will you be coming back?" I looked at the tense Jijia before me and shook my head. "No. I will draw clear boundaries with Lu Qing, you can rest assured. Also, just say what you want to say. Don't beat around the bush, it's quite sickening." Hearing this, Jijia gave a helpless, bitter smile. "I don't have a choice either. I finally managed to snatch her away from you. But her heart is still full of you." Jijia was both lucky and unlucky. He was with the woman he liked, but her heart held 2 men. On the day we moved into the new house, both Murong Shui and Lu Qing came. I accepted the housewarming gift from Murong Shui's hands, but didn't take the one Lu Qing offered. Her expression darkened as she looked at the gift box in her hand. Then she tossed it into the nearby trash bin. Her eyes slightly red, she looked at me pleadingly. "Brother, can I have a word with you?" I glanced at her. Seeing none of the madness from our past life in her eyes, I nodded. Murong Shui walked over to my side. "You still haven't agreed to me yet. Stop attracting other admirers." I ruffled Murong Shui's hair and said softly, "There's no comparison." Once we were in the courtyard, Lu Qing's voice trembled, laced with tears. "Brother, if Dad hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known you were moving today. Did you want me to come home one day and find only myself left?" I sighed softly. "I originally planned to tell you after the move was complete." "Brother, are you really abandoning me?" I looked at Lu Qing with complicated feelings. She had gotten much thinner. We were never truly together. How can you speak of abandonment? "But what if I love you?" "I've already broken up with him." Smack, I slapped her again. "I tried once. But in the end, we both got hurt. There's no possibility for us anymore." Lu Qing's shoulders trembled, tears streaming down uncontrollably. But, brother, I know I was wrong. It was only because you all toyed with my destiny in my past life that I fought back. In this life, I've come to my senses, realized it's you I love." I raised my hand, stopping her. "It's no use saying more. We can't go back. This is the last time we'll meet. I don't want to see you ever again." Finished speaking, I walked straight away. My nose stung slightly, tears nearly falling. I wiped the corner of my eye with my sleeve. By the doorway, not far off, a slender figure was idly kicking at a stone on the ground. Xiao Shui, I called out to her. Morong Shui looked up. Seeing only me, her face lit up with a smile. Finally my turn, huh? I nodded, stuffing a paper crane into her hand. Open it when you get back. Then I went back to moving. Morong Shui snuck aside and carefully unfolded the paper crane. There wasn't much inside, actually, just the key to my place. After that, Morong Shui and I had a whirlwind romance for 3 days, then got our marriage license and held the wedding. Soon, we had the fruit of our love, fraternal twins, a boy and a girl. I had just finished feeding our mischievous son and was about to pick up our daughter when Morong Shui hugged me from behind first. My husband needs to hold me first. Ping ping, a few text message alerts sounded. Morong Shui picked up my phone for me and looked. It's a text from an unknown number. Let me see. Brother, I miss you. Let's meet just once. This must be from Lu Qing, right? I shook my head, not stopping what I was doing with my hands. Delete it and block the number for me. She still hasn't given up, has she? Watch how I get back at her. Morong Shui clenched her fists. I looked at her, amused. And how are you planning to get back at her? Back to the bedroom. Watch how I deal with the man she loves.